So I always feel like I have to be so slumped over. I really need a taller table because I feel like I'm hunchback, when I'm making these videos. I'm still getting used to being in front of the camera. I'm getting more comfortable. It has been a challenge for me, and I have noticed that things happen for a reason. And I feel like it really was for me to get out of my shell. So I'm really getting used to it. And some of the other spiritual downloads that I have received because I meditated yesterday at the park. I'm learning how to meditate and really connect with nature more. Because I feel like I will get, deeper messages. I'll be able to connect on a whole different level, and I'm being guided to do that now. And I've always been a nature person, but I've never meditated outside. So this is new for me. So yesterday when I meditated outside, one of the things that came through for me about my channel, because I'm really trying to have my channel be my main focus, my primary focus, which means, it's supporting me. And one of the messages that came through is to check my own intention, to make sure that I'm not doing this to receive any type of validation or acceptance from my viewers, that this is my soul's purpose, that I'm here to help people. So with that being said, I'm trying to be very mindful now of my energy and my intentions, and having it come from more of a pure place of my soul mission to help other people, to help you if you are, which, you're watching this, and if my messages resonate with you, then you're on a spiritual journey as well. You're on a path of ascension, enlightenment, spiritual growth, soul alignment. And I know this can be very, very painful, very painful. Like, trust me, I know. And it can be very lonely. So I would like to be like that, be like almost like that one friend that you can, listen to, that you can get advice from on this lonely journey. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and light my sage, and I'm going to go ahead and call in. You know what? I'm going to do it different this time because I've been calling in different spirit guides or my patron saint. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to access my own soul energy that I share with my divine partner. And this is where my ancient knowledge comes from. So I'm trying to get away from needing other people, even, other spirits to help me. So with that being said, I now call in my own soul energy, my shared soul energy with my divine partner to help me with this reading today for all signs. This is for all signs. Sorry, I didn't state that. Okay, what deck do I want to use today? The sage is down to the bottom, so it's getting to where it'll burn all the way through now. So I want to set that back there, or I won't be able to breathe. It's finally staying lit. Sage sometimes, it's really hard to stay lit. Wow, okay. I feel like that one's trying to come out. And if anyone would like to have a personal reading with me, I will include that information. I'd love to help you and let you know what things you need to work on and what cycles you're in right now, because I've been talking a lot about cycles. A spiritual journey is not a straight line. It's one of cycles. It's a cyclic journey, whether you are on a twin flame journey or spiritually awakening. Spiritual awakening usually happens after some sort of trauma, the death of a loved one, or possibly even a near-death experience. A lot of times will trigger this. Maybe you've always been connected, as a child. Maybe you've always been connected to the spirit world, and others dimmed that light. Maybe they told you were crazy, or, maybe there were religious restrictions where you weren't able to really step into your gifts. This happens to a lot of people. And I'll pull clarifiers as I go. The first card that I have, and I'm sorry, my resolution on my laptop isn't as good as it is on my phone. We have the moon. And the moon is all about illusions, and I feel like this is how you see yourself. You're not seeing yourself in a clear light. And the reason why this happens is because, that's that energy I was picking up on. Maybe others dimmed your light. When you were a child, maybe you saw ghosts, maybe you had an imaginary friend. And maybe even, in your teenage years, you were told, that maybe you had some mental issues, some psychiatric issues, possibly placed on medication. This happens to a lot of us. It happened to me too. And when this happens, then we feel bad about ourselves. And so we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our intuition. I'm getting, for some of you, there might have been some gaslighting. I know, there's a gnat, sorry. I know I've been gaslighted a lot. And people will gaslight you to get what they need, to get their needs met. And they pick up on your insecurities, so if you don't know who you are and you're not seeing yourself being empowered and being free, and the way that you do this is that, man, that's really going, the way that you do that is to not care what other people think about you, or what they say about you, or how they feel about you. Who cares? And once you get to that point, nobody can gaslight you. Nobody can make you feel bad about yourself, because you take your power back. And so do spend some time really getting to know who you are as a person, because if you don't know, then I tell you what, others will tell you. And this involves, this can get you involved in all kinds of toxic situations, abusive situations. I know I was a battered woman, and I was involved in this group for battered women, of which the lady who was running the group, she said, if you went out on a date, and the first time you went on a date, the guy just beat the shit out of you, you'd be like, what the hell? I'm out of here. Fuck this. But it's systematic. They're Prince Charming, and this could be a female too, very charming. These people are narcissistic. They're energy vampires. They steal from us. So if you don't know who you are and you don't have good boundaries, these people can just wreak havoc on your life, rearrange furniture in your head, and then you become addicted to them because, especially in the beginning when they come in all charming and they make you feel some kind of way. And then it's almost like chasing that Jones. They're the Jones of your choice. It's like that first high. And you're always chasing that. And, you're like, begging them, come back, give me, even when they leave or you leave them, then you keep going back because you're looking for that again, that honeymoon phase. And, whenever there's like, an abusive cycle, there's always that honeymoon phase again. It just feels so good. And then before you know it, you're in that shitty cycle again of, getting hurt. And so if you are involved in this type of situation, it's going to be painful, but the way that you clear that codependency is head on. Head on. You've got to detox from that. I know I've been there too, and I took my power back from everybody. Nobody else has power over me. Nobody. And that is an amazing feeling. And set that as your intention. And that can be anything. It doesn't have to be as an extreme as abuse. That can be just anything. Anybody having some type of power over you where you're dependent upon them because you value how they feel about you. Be yourself. This situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. And so you have to know yourself, and you have to strip away anything that is not you. And a lot of times these are self-limiting beliefs that you need somebody else. We're told that, if you get to be a certain age, people start asking you, when are you going to settle down and get married? Like, who sets these standards? What's wrong with being single? You can be very happy and be single. In fact, there are worse things than being single and being alone. You could be in one of those type of situations I was talking about a minute ago. Peace and tranquility and quiet. Man, they're very valuable. You have those in your life, you will realize that, anybody who comes in who disrupts those things, it'd be like, nope, you're out the door. No, I'm not going to put up with that shit because my peace is my number one priority. That's the energy I'm getting with those cards. We have the Tower card. And with the Tower card, it's always something that happens where something comes crashing down. And I'm getting that this is your belief system. Maybe you had a certain belief system that you believed to be true, and it came crashing down where you realize, man, this is not even true, and this is not even it. And so you really had to rethink everything. And, I have been talking for a while because it has been a theme with my videos that we are clearing ancestral patterns and karma and belief systems. And this is around gender mostly. And so I had some downloads of clarity that I shared in my Twin Flame video yesterday that I'm going to share with you as well. I used to think that because we're trained to believe that we should not feel good about ourselves because that's egotistical. Oh, you're just conceited. You're just egotistical. It's the ego that doesn't want us to feel good about ourselves. It's the ego that tells us that we're not shit. Because remember, the ego is the devil. Imagine, you got the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. Well, the angel is your own soul leading you and guiding you. My soul is leading this reading right here. And then the devil is your ego. And your ego does not want you to be happy whatsoever because it tells you lies. It lies. And so you can't believe it. So your ego, so it's not egotistical to feel good about yourself because why would that be from the ego? When the ego doesn't want you to be happy, because when you feel good about yourself and love yourself, pretty much like you don't align to any bullshit whatsoever. Because right away you're like, nope, this is not for me. It doesn't resonate with me. Nope, it doesn't feel good because you know what? I love myself and I'm putting myself first. And so that doesn't align. So don't let anybody tell you that you're being conceited when you feel good about yourself. The other download of clarity that I had just a little bit ago, even, it was crazy, is with male and female patterns and with gender roles. And I had said this in my Twin Flame video that we do switch back and forth between our masculine and feminine energies because we all have both. And so we work on balancing those, and sometimes someone can be like a female and like I am, and I tend to be more in my masculine energy. I was raised by a single mom. I was a single mom for years. And a lot of times we get in that energy because out of necessity, we have to be. So I'm really trying to pull it back and get more in touch with my feminine energy. But you have to know what belongs to each energy. And sometimes we have views of it that are not true. Like, for example, I've always felt like, men are naturally hunters by nature. So they love to be the one to do the hunting. I've always been taught this, and so I've always felt like the man should do all of the chasing, all of the pursuing, even though I've always been in my masculine energy myself. I will not text or call a man. This really freaks me out. I've really had issues with that. It's affected a lot of relationships because a lot of these men nowadays expect the woman to do the chasing because women have been so much in their masculine energy because out of necessity. And so the gender roles have become blurred. Because we've both gone back and forth. And it used to be a time like back in Grandma and Grandpa's time, where like they were very clear about their gender roles. And then we had women's lib, we had all these kind of things. So now everybody's just kind of confused. But that's all right, because the message that I channeled is that we had to do that in order to balance out, in order to learn from each other. This is something that human beings have wanted to learn, and what I would say human beings, souls. Because as souls, we come here because we want to learn what it's like to be human. So every one of these cycles and these different timelines, or, you know, lifetimes, or whatever, what you want to call them, we've learned from each other different things. So don't judge it, just go with the flow, is the message that I'm getting. And so I feel like possibly that tower moment was involving how you feel about yourself, gender roles. Maybe you know, got to the point where you realized, you know, I need to make some changes in my life. But it's all being divinely guided, so don't judge it. Because we have the childhood innocence card. And this is the energy we need to get back to. This is the magical energy. Sorry, my dog's making some noise, my boxer. Because when we incarnate here, you know, when you come out of the womb, you are completely innocent. And you have faith and trust and belief in the universe, in your parents, that they know what they're doing, which a lot of ours didn't, but we sure believe they did. And, you know, that wide-eyed wonder, you know, at the universe. And we didn't have those fears that we took on. And then, you know, in school, you know, we got bullied, or we got picked on, we got teased, we got our heart broken. You know, friends betrayed us. We learned that we needed to put walls up and put masks on. And so we got away from this. So this is all about returning to this, because this is how you have trust and faith that the universe has your back. Because anything else is a block to that. Anything else is a block to manifesting. And if you can see that, you know, every time you go to manifest something, you know, and you have faith, because, you know, we manifest by the stories that we tell ourselves. Then, you know, some shitty story comes in. Oh, man, you know, things just never work out for me. You know, everything just always goes downhill. Everything always falls to pieces. And guess what? Then you're out of alignment. But it's those fears. So you've got to work on really going deep and really clearing these fears, because everything that you want is on the other side of fear. We have the Ten of Cups. So these cycles and these patterns that you have been in, and these type of relationships that you have been attracting, I believe this has to do with that tower moment, because you see it now. You see the patterns, because haven't I been talking a lot about patterns? I have been. So you see it. So since you see it and you're aware of it and you're conscious of it, you can clear this out. You're at the end of this cycle, because a new cycle is coming in. Because remember, I said this is a cyclic journey. Well, the Ten of Cups is the end of a cycle. And I do feel like, you know, you have become aware of the fact that that you have been attracting these type of people. And the reason you've been attracting these type of people is because you have been coming from a place of lack. It's that desperation to be with somebody and just settling for anybody. Anybody who comes along who has a great pickup line. And I'm not talking about everybody, because I feel like some of you are very good. You know, and maybe, you know, for some of you, maybe you have not let the right ones in. Maybe you're so hard right now because you've been hurt before, that the right one comes along and maybe they don't look the way you figured they would look. And because a lot of times when our soulmate or our twin flame comes in, they look different than what we would expect. So don't miss the bus because it does not, you know, meet your expectations. Release your expectations. That message is coming up for somebody. Because to clarify that card, we have adjacent possibilities. So I feel like there's several possibilities. And they're all going to lead you to where you have to be at, because there are no mistakes. There's just more opportunities for growth. Imagine, you're on this journey, and then there's lots of little side roads. You know what it kind of reminds me of, the energy I'm getting with this card? Have y'all ever seen Big Fish? And like, he has like a destination he's trying to go to, but yet he has all these adventures on the way. That's what it reminds me of. So there's more opportunities for growth. And so don't prevent yourself from growing and moving forward out of fear. Because one of the biggest blocks is fear you're going to mess things up. And there's not, even with like so-called mistakes, as long as you learn from them, there was never a mistake. So stop being scared to live. Stop being scared to have these experiences. In fact, welcome them. We have the Eight of Wands. And so basically the energy that I'm getting with this card, the message that I'm getting, is about setting your intentions. And just like I was talking about with my channel, you're not going to have the success that you want unless you're coming from a good intention. And so do make sure that your intention is not, because I do feel like when I first started this channel, it was that whole, I just got fired, and fuck my coworkers and my boss, I'm going to make something myself and I'm going to show them. If that is your intention, it's never going to satisfy you. And the universe reads energy. And so that is so lower vibrational that you can't possibly manifest in that low of a vibration. Because you have to come from a place of love. Just like I said, wanting this to be my soul mission to help people. So do clear your energy. I do feel like there are some people that you need to forgive. Forgiveness is crucial. Unforgiveness holds us as prisoners to those people that we have resentment towards. We're their prisoner. And so do free yourself. And once you forgive others, this could be your parents, maybe, I know I went through a lot of shit as a kid, possibly neglect, abuse, or what you viewed as neglect. Sometimes we can view neglect as we had enough financially, but there was not any emotional support. And understand we are clearing karma and patterns for our families too. And a lot of times the older generations did not know how to show love. The way that they showed love was by providing. So if you can look at it from a different point of view and do clear that, and also stop judging. I know it's hard to see, you feel like, you got the bad end of the stick. But, remember that we did come here so that we can learn, so that we can have these experiences. And this is something that you signed up for before you even came here. And so do try to look at it in a higher vibrational way. Release it out into love. Try to change your perspective, change your view, forgive, cut cords, ask the Archangel Michael to come in and help remove any type of cords or attachment that you have to other people, and he will do that. This video is going to be a little long. A lot of messages came through. Bear with me. They have been a little long lately. That one was kind of trying to come through. I found out that if a card's trying to come through and if I don't take it, it makes its way out. Life bringer, establishment, growth, fulfillment. So I am feeling like some of you have parent issues and that this has affected you profoundly, possibly your whole life. I know I've had daddy issues my whole life. So really parent yourself for a while. Parent your inner child. look back at the situations and try to find your core wound. Mine is fear of rejection. That is my core wound. We all have one. It comes from childhood. And it normally, is because, like I said, is that whole childhood innocence of feeling like, our parents knew what the hell they were doing. I mean, there is no manual. You pretty much have to be a parent and make mistakes of your own before you can forgive your own parents. Sometimes this happens, sometimes this doesn't. And, some of you might have had like really bad childhoods, like really bad. I know I did. I was in and out of institutions and children's homes and whatnot. And this, like I said, this really affected me profoundly because I really did not know how to show feelings because of the institutions that I grew up in. I couldn't show weakness. I just couldn't, I didn't even have the luxury of really crying myself to sleep because if someone heard me, made fun of me or whatever, I went through that. So some of you might have had, situations that were that severe. And if you did, I've had to do a lot of crying, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, a lot of releasing, a lot of telling myself that, this is soul family, forgive them. Because our soul family can also be our physical family. And we've had past lives together, and we all agreed to do this, and we all agreed to have these roles that we played. So if you can try to come from a higher vibrational standpoint, it really will help you. I had to tell myself every day, their soul family, forgive them. Their soul family, forgive them. I signed up for these experiences, and I really did learn from them, and I'm grateful for the growth. And release them. I don't know how many times I've written it down on a piece of paper, what I want to release, and I burn it outside at night in the moonlight. This really does help. And, you may have to do it more than once, but definitely do this. I'm pretty sure this is the Temperance card in this deck. I'm pretty sure. I don't have my little book with me. I should have looked at it. But I'm just going to read it intuitively. So basically what I'm getting is this is that inner relationship with yourself. This is that self-comfort. This is comforting yourself. If you can get to the point where you can check in with yourself daily and ask yourself, what do I need? What type of comfort do I need? And give that to yourself. You won't need anyone else to do it. And then you won't have that whole thing where you get addicted to how somebody makes you feel because you won't need anybody else because you're doing this for yourself. So do have some good conversations with yourself. Yes. I mean, I said it, do it. And talk to yourself. If you don't talk to yourself, write. I have a whole blog that I write in. I do share the link. I may share the link in the description of the video if you'd like to check out my blog. Journal. Take walks. But really get these feelings out and really express them. And you don't need anyone else to do this with. And this is how you clear them. Because you know what? Honor your feelings. Stop resisting them. A lot of times we think we have to resist them. We shouldn't feel this shitty. I'm not going to feel this shitty. Sit with it. Just feel it. Cry it out if you have to. Get you a box of tissue. And you know what? That's all right. Don't judge it. Remember, I was talking about peace. When I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. And I said, you have to get to the place where peace is your number one most important thing. Get to where you are so happy and so peaceful and contented being by yourself that anyone else can come along, they can add to it, but they can't take from that. And right away, you'll know by somebody's energy if they disrupt your peace. If they disrupt your peace, you can be like, no, and have boundaries with people. You know, I worked in customer service for years, and I know it's very hard to have boundaries if you work in customer service, or if you have a job where you have to deal with the public, or if you have difficult coworkers or bosses. But have boundaries with them and know what is your shit and what is their shit. And once again, that goes back to knowing yourself so that others cannot um, put their own stuff off on you. A lot of times people have a bad day and they try to put it off on you. So do have that boundary and don't take things personally. That message is coming through too. Don't take shit personally. Once you know yourself, really know yourself on a soul level, and you feel really good about yourself, like, trust me, like, nobody can do anything to you. So really make this your intention to master yourself. Sorry, I'm got an itch there. Once again, these cards here, the major arcana, usually I'll take my book and I'll kind of know what these are ahead of time, but I don't know where it is. It's just a little bitty paper book, and I don't feel like going over that. But basically what I'm getting with this card is that this is a fear, and it's on your inner shadow side. And this is about how you feel about yourself. And I do feel like that has to go with this tower moment too. That there's something there, and I feel like you've become aware of it now. But maybe it's something somebody's told you over and over and over again. A story someone told you that you believed, and it's been playing in the background. And this is the story you've been telling yourself. And this is a major block right now. So go back and look at it. And it could be something that your parents told you. Maybe they told you you would never amount to anything. You're not shit. My mom used to tell me all you care about is yourself. And I'd be like, well, how in the hell? Like, I don't even see it. You're selfish. All you care about is yourself. Okay. So then, I grew up trying to be a martyr, trying to please others because I thought that was bad. And you know what? It's come full circle because you know what? That was the energy I was supposed to be in to begin with. Only caring about myself. Because if you don't, who will? You'll have these expectations and be disappointed your whole life. So it starts with you. As that was the Three of Disc. I need my glasses on. It was not a major arcana. That was the Three of Disc. But that is the energy. That is the message that came through for that. I apologize. These are my major arcana cards here. This is the Emperor card, and this can also be the Empress if you're a female. And so this is all about stepping into your power. And how do you step into your power? By not giving a shit what other people think, feel, say about you. Period. It is so liberating, and this is how you take your power back. And also, by cutting those cords, do work with the Archangel Michael. There's lots of guided meditations you can do, but the Archangel Michael is really easy to work with. He's my favorite Archangel. Some of the others can, be a little tough. Just talk to him and, tell him, look, I've got these cords, I've got these attachments, I've got this codependency going on with these, with whoever. And will you please help me to release this? Will you please help me to free myself? Will you please help me to forgive other people so that I can get out of the prison that I've been in? And he will do it. I mean, he's like, when I first started off on this journey, as far as I would say the first year of my twin flame journey was all physical and all the illusions and all the triggering. And then after the first year, I connected to my spirit guides. And the Archangel Michael was the first one that came in, that helped me, that talked to me and comforted me. And it was amazing. So I would say start there. If you've never connected to a spirit guide before, do work with the Archangel Michael. And you can talk to him just like you talk to anybody else. I mean, he really is really nice. Like, he's really, really nice. Dear you, there's a balance between activity and rest, ebb and flow. You can't have one without the other. If you're faced with an obstacle right now, the best course is surrender and non-resistance. Soon enough, you'll see how easy it is to flow around it. Now is one of those times when you must trust the river of your life. Go with the flow, and in no time you'll reach what you have your heart and hope set on. Just remember, Spirit will help you keep your head above water and will direct the currents. When it's time for greater effort, you'll know exactly when you'll need to work those manifesting muscles. It can be challenging to master the flow cycles of your life, but as you develop your skills, affluence will be yours. Enjoy the flow and trust those currents, for we're right here with you with our little umbrella drink, smiling at your success. Love you so very much. So definitely don't resist anything that's happening right now. Go with the flow. And the main thing is don't resist your feelings. Do not resist your feelings. Let them flow. Like I said, a lot of times we feel like we should resist this if we feel shitty. But do feel your feelings, because your feelings are your street signs, your guideposts that are guiding you right now on your journey. So this is your reading all signs. And do check out my other videos. I'm thinking very seriously. I do my past life reading, which it takes a lot out of me, so I'm really only getting it done about every 2 weeks or so. But I'm also thinking about maybe doing a reading where I connect to loved ones. So, and I'm probably going to go live at some point where, you guys can choose a card, so that is coming. But thank you for watching.